Alright, I'm creating this tutorial so you have something visual to look at as you're doing your redo on the research assignment. So I'm going to start with the heading and the page numbers. So you're going to tab all the way over to type your page number, your last name and the page number. Hit enter, and you just want to make sure that you have everything set up as far as spacing. So just come up here, we want it at 1.15. If you have remove down here, make sure you click remove to take out the default spacing. And then I like Times New Roman, so I'm going to keep it as my font. Let me finish out the heading here. Use whatever class period you're in. I'm using the date of the original assignment. The day, month, year. There's no commas in between, no dashes. Just type it. Okay, now I want to go to the title, so I'm going to hit space once to give me that blank space. The second time I enter, that's where I'm going to center and type my title. Alright, Fahrenheit 451 is the title of the book, so it needs to be italicized. Alright, so now I want a blank space between the title and the beginning of my assignment. So I'm going to enter once for the blank space one more time, then go to the left margin to start my assignment. Change that. We're going to come up here and change this to a 1. Alright, Allusions. Allusion / type. Backspace. And now we want to make this our letters. We want the quote here. And I want to bold this, so if you just do the whole thing and bold it, it's going to make the letters and the number bold. So all you got to do is left click, take the bold off, left click, take the bold off. There you go. Now we want to add the extra space in between the type and the quote and the explanation. So hit enter once, backspace to get rid of the 2, enter once, backspace to get rid of the B, enter once, backspace to get rid of the C, and then we're going to go all the way to the margin. So, oops, sorry. So now we want to copy this because we want to copy and paste it just to make it easier as we go down the page. Alright, we want to fix this. I don't know why it's doing this, but we'll fix it. We're going to change this to AB, so right click, restart at A, and it'll change it. So now we want an extra space here, so we're going to hit extra space like that. And so now we want that extra space there, so we're going to do this. And here we go again. I don't know why it's doing that. Alright, let me try to copy and paste. See if it'll work. Did a little bit better, just need to right click and restart at A. So we'll go down and add the rest of them. Alright, with 6, since it's like separating it here, if you want, you can just go down to the next page. You don't have to keep it on there. I'm not going to take off points for that. It looks better, it's more uniform, so you can fix it. Alright, once you've got your template in, you can start typing. Just make sure that when you start typing, it's not in the bold format when you're typing your answer. So you just come up here and make sure you take it off bold when you start typing. Alright, now we're going to look at how to set up the works cited page. So we're going to come down here, be at the top of the margin, go to the left, and you're going to type your page number here. So we're just going to do Smith 3 because the previous page was 2. Once you start typing, though, your page numbers will probably change, so just make sure you check that before you turn it in. So once we have it done here, I want to highlight this whole page here. Just drag it down like that, and then you want to change it to double space. So now when you come back up here and you hit enter, it's already double spaced for you. You don't have to do anything else. Go to center. You're going to type the works cited. Oops. Alright, we're back here. Go to center. And then once you have the title there, hit enter again, and it takes out, or it gives you the double spacing. You go back to the margin, and this is where you type your first entry. You can either type it directly out or copy and paste, but whatever you do, make sure you go back, you fix the font, you fix the spacing, you do the hanging indentions. Once you have your sources all there, they're in alphabetical order, so that's something that you have to check out before you actually submit or print out your assignment. This case, you'll be printing out a copy and bringing it into me attached to your original. So I want to show you what one looks like. I dummied one up for you so you can see what the assignment would look like. So you have your heading up here, everything's done. Here's the page number. Your title is done correctly. You have the extra spaces in between like you're supposed to. Book title is italicized. You have your first allusion. You have your first quote with an internal citation from Bradbury, the actual novel. If your quote ends with an exclamation point or a question mark, you include that in the quote and put the period at the end of the parentheses. If it does not have an exclamation point or question mark, you don't put anything. There's no comma there, there's no period there. The period goes behind the parentheses. Then your explanation is the information that you found, you researched from your sources on your works cited page. You must type out your paraphrased information from your source. Then you need to make sure you're very thorough in your answer and your explanation of the allusion. And then once you complete your explanation, you need to include an internal citation at the end using your works cited page as your guideline. So in a minute we'll look at the works cited page so you can see this. Alright, so now let's go down and look. There's page 2 up at the top. Continued pagination. Here's our next source. Notice how it's cited here. So we go down and they're all set up. Their spacing is all done perfectly like it's supposed to be. Now let's look at the works cited page. So your last page is 4, so that's what goes at the top. It's double space, and you can double check it. Come up here and look. Double space, no remove spacing there. Everything's fine. It looks good. Works cited page, you're in alphabetical order according to the first word in the source. And remember, if it begins with A, N, or B, you look at the second word and set it up that way. We have one author with 2 sources, so you need to make sure you look at the first word of the title and you put it alphabetically that way. Alright, so when you're doing your works cited page, just double check everything. Make sure you have periods at the end of each of your items in the entry. Period goes within the quotations here. Your website, your encyclopedia, your databases, your ebooks, those are all italicized. And then you have your periods and commas wherever they're supposed to be. If it doesn't have a date, it's N period, D period. If you have two authors, first one is last name, first name, second one is first name, last name. The et al. Up here means that you have 3 or more authors, so that's how it looks. So just make sure that everything is done according to pages 13 and 14 as far as the MLA citation is concerned, and then check page 15 to make sure that you covered all of the rules for the works cited page. So notice each of these beginnings. This would be what you would put in your internal citation for that. This would be what you put in your internal citation for 2 authors. Oops. So the Jaeger, and include the and, no commas, Jaeger. So it's Jaeger and Jaeger, Jones, and this one you would do O'Brien, comma, include the comma, and then the quotes, you would put the article in quotes, but do not include the period. See how the period is there? Don't include the period there in the internal citation. So you would go down, this one would be tree, you wouldn't have to put the article in there, article meaning the word the. And then, so you just go through, and that's what you would use for your internal citations. If it's the title of an article, you include the quotation marks, not the period. Make sure you are clear on that. So if you come back and look at the internal citations, Jones, Jagger and Jagger. You have O'Brien, comma, Vesuvius. Notice there's no period there. Same thing. Go down and look at them. Sir Philip Sidney, in quotes. That's the title of the article. O'Brien, comma, Antaeus. Tree. Appleby et al. Trials. Walt Whitman. So you need to make sure all of that's done correctly. So before you even turn in or print out this assignment, you need to check everything. Heading, page number, title, spacing and margins. Are you using the same font? Make sure you're bolding your titles there, your topic titles. Then look at your works cited page. Is it done correctly? There should be no highlighting on there at all. I was just doing that to show you, so don't include that. So you're checking page number, spacing, title, alpha order, hanging indentations, checking to make sure you italicize, your punctuation's correct. All of that stuff needs to be done before you print it out and bring it on Monday.